On this episode of the John 1911 podcast, sparkly ISIS, conspiracy theories, Porsche backs off on EVs, and slamming the website. Okay, good evening, everybody. This is Kraken, Danny, and Marky, and this is episode 383 of the John 1911 podcast. Today is Saturday of an unknown day, Saturday, September 27th, 8:19 Eastern Standard Time. And I've got all the boys together, and we are about to do a legendary podcast because we have a legendary podcast. So how's everybody been?
Well, not doing too bad. Been kind of a busy day. Got a lot of
I-
things done today, getting ready for vacation.
I'm full of chips and salsa.
Chips and salsa? Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. You just got back from eating at the Mexican restaurant.
Yes, you ate Italian, so I figured I'd eat Mexican today. So there you go.
I was telling Danny that earlier I was hungry and I haven't eaten since last night, so I went to my new favorite Italian place and gorged out on pasta. So, I'm sure when I have to go in for my annual, executive blood testing here in like 10 days, it's going to be, it's like, well, there goes that diet. So, yeah. So, we'll see. I don't know. I hope, I'm sure that Italian pasta will not show up on the test like American, what's the shit they spray on all the corn in America?
Shit, your cholesterol is going to come back, mamma mia.
I don't eat pasta. I never have liked it in my life. I don't eat it. So you could have all mine, Marky.
Yeah, I generally, I'm not a big like carb pasta eater, but when I first went to Italy the first time, I was able to eat real Italian food, and the pasta was so good and
Oh,
just
yeah.
so different that I actually now make it a point that if I can find some place that'll actually serve what I would call like real Italian pasta, I don't eat it often. I mean, it's maybe twice a year. I'll try to eat it, but that's not what I quite had today. So, but I did the best I could. Before we get into it, I want to get a couple of old business and some back end things, kind of for the listener at home. The first thing is, some of our folks may have noticed the website for a little bit was running a little slow, and I've noticed it, and I've been trying to deal with it, and then working with the IT people, and it turns out that our web traffic has increased 300%
Damn.
in the
Nice.
past 45 days, and nobody can figure out why. So I suspect it's related to a lot of the social media companies not throttling a certain content, and what's happening is we're getting ancillary traffic from YouTube, Facebook, and all that, and they're hitting our website. Second thing is we've had because of this, some of you have noticed that not this last newsletter that went out this morning, but the newsletter that went out last, I don't know if it was Tuesday, the top story, the image didn't load in the newsletter, so it looks a little funky, and we had a few issues over the previous weeks with images not loading in some of the stories in the email newsletter. Turns out we thought it was a different issue. It turns out it was simply the same issue. The website was getting slammed, and so when the newsletter needs to take a screen grab, that's not technically how it works, but when the newsletter takes a snapshot of the website before it sends it to your email, the website wasn't there, and so it blanked itself out. So yeah, that's a problem. Let's see, what else is there? Let's see, new Aimpoint SRO has come in for the Wilson 5-inch all-steel single-stack gun, the Exterior project. That came in on Friday. And after my car search, I have decided that my off-road vehicle search, that I'm going to get one of those Ineos Grenadier vehicles. So I've committed to it and actually paid for it. So I'm sure that I'm going to head into a life of misery and agony and service. But Toyota
Road
is looking
trip.
too much better. Yeah, road trip. So, all right. So all that's out of the way because once we get into it, baby, we gonna be in it. So you guys should see the outline for this episode. Where are
I
we going
don't
to
even
start?
want to. Where, flip a coin. There's so much shit going on. It's unbelievable.
Well,
Let's start with,
let's.
you want to start with Comey?
No, well,
Or I'll
no.
start
Well, okay, you
gun
know what?
content, whatever you want.
No. We're gonna do. No, no. You're up first. We're
Oh
gonna be
boy.
doing It's gonna be some politics here.
Well, give me a
But
segue
well,
here. What do you want?
okay. Well, you're gonna have to lead. You're gonna have to lead the charge on Comey because I have been kind of out of pocket. All I know is, I guess he was indicted, and
Correct.
then I know that his daughter was fired from the Justice Department or from the FBI like a week or two ago, and she's suing. And then his son-in-law is now left the Justice Department or feels like he was forced out or whatever. And it's like, how many of these damn Comeys work in this fucking building? I mean, it's just like that whole thing seems weird. I mean, it's like the Sullivans in the Navy. It's like, I mean, how many you assholes can be on one boat? It's
Well, there's,
bizarre.
I don't know if
There's a
does the federal government have a nepotism clause? I don't know.
Well, I mean, doesn't the Navy have a thing where you purely they try if they can they try not to bunch you all up together, on one ship? Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, within reason. Shore commands be a little different, but on board ship, they generally keep you separated. If you wind up marrying somebody on the ship, they eventually will get you separated out. Somebody will go to another command.
Yeah, but apparently the Justice Department, it's like all Comey all the time over there. Like what the
Sounds
hell?
like it.
So
Well,
okay, Danny. So tell me what's going on. What was he indicted? Like, okay, was it just the?
lying. The main one is lying to Congress.
So is it? So is
And
that a okay? So you tell me. Is it the line to Congress? Is it perjury, or is there like a special law that's like perjury before Congress? I have no idea.
I don't know the exact law on that either, but it must be pretty bad because when you lie to Congress, I believe that's a felony charge, not a misdemeanor. All right. And the
Hmm.
ramifications of lying under oath like that, especially when it has matters to do with national security, I think is where the eyebrows are really being raised. I I would like to find more of what the law specifically states. I really don't know, but it must be something. Here's the bottom line on that. There's two other unnamed indictments at this time. Who the hell they might be, one could only guess. I mean, I have my thoughts on who it's going to be, but I don't think are they. I don't think one of them's Hillary. I'll put that. I
No.
don't think it is because he
So I
was
just did a
protecting her.
I just did a quick search, and well, I mean, hold on. You just said something that's interesting there. I just did a quick search, and this is an AI because it's a summary at the top, which I hate using AI because it's always wrong. So, yes, perjury committed during congressional proceedings is a federal felony punishable by a prison sentence of up to 5 years. A person can also be
Right.
prosecuted for knowingly making false material statements to Congress, even if not under oath. That's not dissimilar from making false material statements to, say, like an FBI agent.
FBI, right.
Um, so here's Comey's defense because I remember they asked him uh, if he if did the FBI conduct some kind of surveillance on the Donald Trump campaign, and he goes in 2016, and he said no. Now what's going to happen is his defense would be that, well, there's two types of testimony in Congress. People live in front of Congress all the time anymore. It's just crazy because they do two things. They have their open session and then they have their select committee closed session. So basically, Comey's defense will be that this was a super high level issue of national security and of such political importance that it had to be testif- testimony had to take place before was it for the Senate or the House, whoever he perjured himself. would have to take place before the select committee, which is always a closed. For example, like when somebody comes in and they're like, we want to talk about the F-47 fighter plane that nobody talks about. They do it in closed committee, super select. That would be his defense, that it was
I
a statement
I
he
don't
made.
think I don't think it'll hold water as defense. To be honest with you, I
Yeah, I
I
think
I,
on
I
its
think they got a lot more on them than just lying to Congress. And as all of us know, the government's not going to tip their hand on everything they have. They have enough to get to gain the indictment. The underlines of everything within that indictment, I'll bet you, are hundreds of pages. This is just me. I think he's going to sing like a canary. That's just me. I got to
you
fight
know
to save his skin.
I think, yes, is he guilty? I think Clapper's guilt. Clapper was worse. Um,
Hopper and
he's
Brennan.
guilty. Yeah, but Clapper was, oh God.
Oh yeah,
But the thing is, the I think that a judge is just going to throw this out.
No, I don't.
Um, I think this is in the Eastern District of Virginia. My understanding, it's not in the Northern District. It's not in Washington, but it's still in what I would call occupied Virginia.
yep.
Um, so I think this will get thrown out. I think it will. Um,
Would you want to be the judge under the microscope like that? I don't think it will. I
The
think they're going to let it take
Democratic
its
federal,
judges
place.
don't care.
Well, that's true.
they've been
They
throwing
don't
this shit out
care.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you know.
here's the problem with this whole case. To get a conviction, you're going to have to be able to prove that Comey knew patently that what he was saying was false before Congress. And then you're going to have to prove that when he made a false statement, he did it purposely for the continuance of a crime.
Correct. He perjured
Well,
with
And
perjury.
that's going to be without, and we don't know what we don't know because the indictment papers are sealed. But that's going to take some type of corroboration. He said, she said is not going to be enough for a conviction. There's going to have to be some
I,
text messages, some
oh,
documents,
I agree
something
with
like
it.
that.
I fully agree with
okay.
that. But I think the
And
government has all the history backup for their case. I just do on this one. I got a gut feeling on it.
I'm gonna make a couple points here because in this instance, words matter. So, okay, people are going to, again, I'm speaking objectively. I'm not talking about what I want to have happen. What I want
yep,
to have happen is if somebody goes before Congress and asks you a fucking question, you better fucking answer it. Because the reality is, everybody listening to this podcast, with the exception of one or two people, know that if we went before Congress and we lied on national television, they would nail us to the floorboards. So
Yes, they
there's this
would.
two-tier justice system. But with that being said, what I'm about to say is going to really piss a lot of the Fox News people off. Unfortunately, the FBI spying on Trump was not illegal because they got a warrant from a FISA judge to do a national security warrant to do this surveillance. So that was not a crime. The only crime I'm aware of Comey committing, actual crime, is him lying about it under oath before Congress. So that needs to be said. The other thing is, because you were talking about this, you guys were making a point as far as, what did he know when, the typical what did he know and when did he know it argument. So again, I would love to be a lawyer cross-examining this fucking case. This is why, but no judge. I think none of these judges are going to let this happen because here's how it's going to go. So okay, all right. So okay, Mr. Director, you're telling this court that there was a request for a FISA surveillance warrant against a presidential candidate of a major political party in opposition to your sitting boss to tap their wires as then candidate Trump described it, and you didn't know about it, nobody came to your office, nobody said, holy shit, I'm not going to sign off on this unless I talk to the director. You're either a moron or you're almost negligent in your duty. Because at what point does a wiretap of a major political official in a contentious national election come to the point? And then, but hold on. Here's the thing. People are going to love this when I make this argument. What's the first thing that the lawyer tells the people when you get pulled over, you get accused of a DUI, you get arrested? What's the first thing the lawyer tells you to do? You get that
Shut
Don't
the
guy who's
blow.
fuck
got the,
up.
yeah,
Don't
you get
blow.
the, yeah, shut the fuck up. What's the thing you do? Shut the fuck up. And what has Comey done for what, 6 years? No, 8 years now?
Ran his mouth.
He's run his fucking mouth about, well, then here's the thing. I specifically remember Comey getting on some national interview thing, and it's like literally, it's the scene from The Big Short. And, Steve Carell goes, hey, we're going to talk to my associates for a minute. And we go, they get where I don't understand. Why are they confessing? They're not confessing. They're bragging. Comey literally said, I knew that a new administration, how it works, it's going to be chaotic. And I knew that they were not going to have their White House counsel all kind of set up and run and, processes and everything, because the first couple of weeks it's going to be kind of chaos. So Comey bragged and said, I just figured I'd send a couple FBI agents over. I just said, hey, can I send some FBI agents over to talk to National Security Advisor Flynn, General Flynn? And they're like, sure, come on over. And they hung Flynn out to dry.
Yes, they did.
Because,
And
and
that's the
it's
guy
like,
that's laughing on this one, I think.
yeah, and
Flynn.
he's the one who's bragging. He's the one who's bragging. Well, basically, he ran this op on the White House after the election. But you telling me magically before the election, he had no idea that this fucking happened. This is like no federal. I think none of these federal judges are going to let this case go forward because it could be explosive. Now, the final thing I want to say, and here's the argument for going after Comey. Well, the petty argument is there has never been a more insufferable, arrogant, self-centered son of a bitch that's been that fucking beltway than fucking Jim Comey.
Right.
It's unreal how just full of
How
himself
arrogant
he
he
is.
is. Oh, I
It's
know.
just crazy. But also, here's the argument that people that work for the Trump administration and the MAGA people, they destroyed Mike Flynn. They destroyed him. He had to sell his house. The only reason General Mike Flynn, ended up taking a plea deal was because he ran out of money. They bankrupted this man, lifelong civil servant. So they destroyed him. Who's the guy who Steve Bannon went to jail?
Right.
Who's the other one that went to jail?
Roger
Not
Stone.
Navarro.
Roger Stone.
But Roger Stone didn't work in the government.
But they got
But
him just the
but there's
same.
a
He's part of the group.
but who's the other guy? He's got no. This guy worked in the White House. He's a Naval Reserve officer. He's kind of heavy set. He's got long hair. He does a podcast now. He does all these video. What not Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon. He went to jail. Bannon went to jail, and all these people spent a fortune on legal fees. Spent a fortune having to fucking do all these legal fees. And like every time they called in these witnesses to come in, like, the girl came in and testified because, this is what she says happened during the inauguration. Every one of these people had to hire lawyers, and it cost everybody a fortune. And I guarantee, I can promise you as assuredly as the sun comes up tomorrow, even if they don't get a conviction on Comey, they're going to be like, fucking
We'll break.
write them fucking legal checks, asshole.
Yep.
Because
We'll
you're
break
going to
you
pay.
like you did us.
And all you assholes are better start fucking hiring lawyers, because Yeah, and that's what this is going to end up being. And and the thing is, I hate to say this, this has to happen. Shit was so out of control in Washington, apparently under the Obama administration and then under the Biden administration, that you had people that are lifelong bureaucrats and technocrats in Washington that weren't ever saying to themselves, yo, wait a minute, maybe we better stop here because someday I'm going to have to testify before Congress, or someday I may be brought up on charges. It used to be bureaucrats never took chances. But all these Democratic bureaucrats all feel like that they could just do whatever the fuck they want. And
Entitled.
this is what has to happen. This is what has to happen. And I hope they get all of them.
I do too.
But I hate to tell everybody, the judge won't throw this out.
I'll disagree with you. We'll agree to disagree on this. I think because remember, the FISA judge that gave the warrant, it's going to get into this also. He was presented with under false pretenses to get the warrant because with his whole Steele dossier and all the other stuff, all this other stuff, it was
Yeah,
all
yeah.
fabricated stuff.
Well, wasn't well. The Steele
It
dossier
was
was all fabricated,
fabricated.
but what there's one guy that was convicted, and he was a Justice Department attorney, in-house attorney, and he changed a letter in an email. Do you remember this? I can't remember the
I
guy's name.
I remember what
Um,
you're talking about it, but I'm not fresh on it. Excuse me.
there was an email that he took that they used it in FISA court, and then he changed it, like, I don't know, like could to would or could to should, like it was literally one letter, but that changed the entire preface of the sentence, which set up the preface of the paragraph, and that was enough to get the warrant. And that guy got convicted of a felony. And you know what happened within like 18 months? He got it. I think it got expunged, and I think he's got his law license back.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He got his law license back.
Oh,
And here's another one. I don't remember what this guy's name was. There was another guy. They first started the RussiaGate stuff, and they found this guy, and everyone knew his name. But at the time, like all of us, we were using his name, but this guy was so low level. But he was hooked into the RussiaGate. He was this Naval Reserve officer,
oh, the
young
guy
guy,
starts
former.
with a V.
Not no
Vid.
Vindman is the no Vindman. This guy Vindman's in the army. That was later. No, this
All
guy's
right.
out of the military, but he was going around trying to drum up business, and he was kind of name dropping and kind of maybe making promises that he couldn't really keep. He was kind of, like leaning into his resume a little bit and putting stuff on his resume he couldn't really quite defend. And they had detected him somehow and tried to make him out to be a Russian agent. They about bankrupted that guy. That guy was like 30 fucking years old, and just one of these of thousands of these dudes that run around Washington and run around the capitals around the world trying to build a career and make money. And they made him into a fucking fake goddamn Russia agent, and it cost him a fortune. I don't know what happened to that guy. I mean, there's no way he didn't get financially wiped out.
Well, paybacks are a bitch, and I think it. I think, like you mentioned, it has to happen. Maybe the bureaucrats that are so entrenched will stop and think a little bit now that it could happen to them. I think this is the tip of the iceberg. I really, really do. I think I. That's why I had mentioned earlier. I think Comey's going to sing. I think he's going to sing, and more and more will come out. That's
Comey's
just
going to
my opinion.
sing. Well, wait a minute. What's Comey facing? A perjury charge?
Besides perjury, the indictment is sealed, but there's a lot more into it and how in depth they go. Like I said, I really feel
Wait a minute, because I've been kind of busy. I will admit, maybe I'm unprepared for the podcast because I've been, working on the John 1911
well, you're
range, shooting
slack.
guns,
Yeah, you're slacking. You're
shooting guns, and having
slacker.
fun. Wait a minute. So, breaking news for Marky: are you telling me that the Comey indictment, they've just said he's been indicted, but it's sealed and there's more in there than just perjury?
That's what I've been reading. They said the perjury is the main thing, but there's basically more counts to come.
Hmm.
I hadn't
I
heard
think
that.
Hmm.
There's
they're not just going to do them on perjury. I think, they've had quite a while now to get the goods on them. And I think that there's a whole lot more that's going to come out. That's why I really think he's going to sing to save his skin. I
So
really
you
do.
think so? If there's more in there, I mean, it's not like there's. I'm not going to say there's no way because of Hansen and the FBI, but I mean, obviously Comey isn't. We hope is not like some kind of foreign agent. So this must be exposure for the Crossfire Hurricane operations that you know for
I
the
believe so.
investigation on all the stuff that was involved in building the case against Trump. There's crimes there,
I believe there
maybe.
are. Yep, it's going to come out. It's going to be interesting as hell.
And you think there's enough there they could get Comey to literally take a plea bargain?
Yeah, he's going to flip. I think there's enough for him
Wow.
to flip.
That would be, I mean, he's so arrogant. I feel like he would go to jail and wait to get pardoned.
You think
But
so? Nah.
he's pretty arrogant, dude. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It depends on, I mean, if you're looking at 40 years, I mean, he'd flip. I mean, I don't know. But again,
but he's not. I mean, so far he's looking at 5.
yeah, but
He's
this is
looking at
also,
a perjury and and an obstruction of justice charge, and those are gonna be tough charges to prove because of the standard of evidence that you're gonna have to get to prove it.
They're all,
Uh,
they're all, I agree with you, but they're also going to be tough charges to beat.
we
And
don't know that there's going to be more charges because the indictment is sealed.
correct,
So an idea and a ham sandwich will get you an indictment.
correct.
So we
I could
don't
tell,
we
well,
don't
yeah.
know if this is just enough bullshit to put him under thumb so he's got to spend some money to defend himself, or if there's some bombshell. We don't know. We don't know. All that we do know is the old saying is true: you can indict a ham sandwich.
It's
And
And
true.
I
out
will,
of the 3 charges they were pushing on to him, they got a no bill on one of the 3.
oh, they did?
Yes.
Yes.
What did they say what it was, or they wouldn't release it because it's secret?
I don't recall if they released it or not. I know they were
No,
trying to indict him on 3 charges. They got the indictment on 2, and then the third one was a no bill, but I don't remember what it was.
and the rest of the indictment is all the good stuff is sealed. You know, it's
You
gonna.
also have
I
to
think
remember the sealed good stuff is one sided. It's
very
whatever the
much so.
prosecution says. The defense doesn't get to say or present anything. So that's why it's fairly easy to get an indictment. The defense has no rebuttal in the whole grand jury process. So until there's some discovery motions made, nobody knows what the hell's going on except the people that were on the grand jury, the prosecution, and the judge.
Wow.
So this could be a bombshell, and it could be a total nothing burger, just basically to poke Comey in the eye. We don't know until it starts coming out and there's discovery made.
Okay, so
I'm
I've done a quick scan here, and apparently there are details of the indictment. There's the whole, no, we didn't tap the wires thing, and
right.
there's something here. They must have asked him, according to the Department of Justice, Comey's statement that he did not authorize an anonymous source was false. So this is interesting. So okay, hold on. I'm literally making this up as I'm talking right now. If if what level of classification would it possibly be for the FBI to conduct a surveillance of get a FISA warrant to conduct surveillance? So a FISA, the Foreign Intelligence Securities Act. So
Right.
if FISA's dealing with foreigners and foreign agents and foreign governments on U.S. soil. So what level of classification? Classified, secret, top secret code word, top secret above that. That's so secret you can't even name what the classifications are. what level of classification would the operation and details about these sources and and the information contained therein could they get Comey on national security on national security violations for because he leaked shit to the press. They're claiming he leaked shit to the press, and if it's this super high level stuff that's national security's wiretapping shit. It's like Snowden. They want to fucking shoot Snowden. I mean, it sounds like if Comey's involved and he's leaking stuff to the media that's at that high a level, they may bring him up on like an espionage charge. Or I mean, holy
Well,
shit.
if you remember, Comey's arrogance went right before the first election when he leaked it that we had stuff on Hillary, but we didn't want to charge her over the smashing of the iPhones and computers, this, that, and all the other shit. His own arrogance is going to do him in. That's why I really feel that it doesn't matter what judge it is, they're going to go forward with this. Because they're not going to laugh in the face of this indictment, the judge. I really think whoever it is going to go forward, and I also still think that the Justice Department, Trump wants his payback bad, really bad, and
Oh,
the Justice,
he's about to fire that attorney general. He's about to
yeah,
run that
yes,
bitch out on a rail.
yep, yeah, yes, I agree.
I
So,
wish I don't like Matt Gaetz, but I wish Matt Gaetz was Attorney General. Oh my God. Oh my
oh,
God.
there'd be good
It would
fodder
be,
for the pod.
oh, oh God. Uh,
Right. Well, enough of
all I
Comey.
want for Christmas is to fire Pam Bondi and bring Matt Gaetz in and then play the theme song music, Return of the Mac. Return of the Mac. Return. I'm just, oh my God. Matt
I
Gaetz
think,
is,
I think Bondi, I don't want to use the word overwhelmed. I think with her, it's appeasement to the wrong people. And she's gonna get canned. I just know it, or resign. She's probably in getting a deal cut with Trump right now to save face. I really think she's gone. I really do because
he's brought in
she's
some other beauty queen lawyer. I can't remember where she's supposed to be. Is she in Eastern? She might be the Eastern District of Virginia. It's what's her name?
Janine
I don't think.
Pirro.
No, 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 no,
No.
no, no, no. She's in New
Alina
York. She's
Habba.
or no, no.
Oh,
She's
Hava, right.
no, 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 no,
No, her
no,
girlfriend
no,
just died. Her boyfriend
no,
just
no.
died or something.
Who did? Whose boyfriend just died?
Who was it? 28
Alina,
years?
Alina,
Haba? Was it Haba? I
Alina
thought it was.
Habba's. She's married. They're
Alina Habba's floating in limbo right now because she was the attorney general for, what was it, New Jersey? And they couldn't get her confirmed. So she's just kind of floating in the wind right now. Uh,
Somebody's boyfriend died or partner or died or something, 28 or 30 years old. Who the hell with a
you talking about?
four-letter last name?
Are
I
you
can't.
are
Fucking seen
you
something.
talking about the golfer?
Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. I just glanced at something.
There's a golfer with a really pretty girlfriend that killed herself like 2 days ago.
Oh, that's what it was.
Um,
Maybe then I didn't read.
yeah.
As you know, I've been very busy with the government. I'll leave it at
If it's not baseball, unless it's a ball going over home plate, Mr. Umpire, he doesn't care. So
Mark,
all right.
Marky,
Well,
you know where I've been the last. You know where I've been the last week, and I'm fed up. Get it?
yeah. So well, I'm gonna put a bookend on this one. So just to make a point, I think for the listener at home, I mean not the I think Danny makes a compelling argument that there's going to be more. There's possibly more to the Comey indictment, and if there is, it could get real messy for Comey. I started off thinking that man, they're going to try to throw this out, but if there's a bunch of national
No,
security shit in there, they're not going to have the fucking balls to do that.
there's a
If it's
whole
just
lot
a
of
perjury,
You don't think there's a whole lot of vindictiveness to make sure that the Justice Department and the FBI, before they brought this indictment even to the judge, were told, you better have your T's crossed and your I's dotted. This is not going to go by the wayside. I really feel that.
Hmm. So, all right. So, again, since we've all really been together, there's been a rash of shootings, assassinations, attempted assassinations, and all that kind of stuff. So, Danny, you're kind of our resident conspiracy theorist.
Resident,
Okay.
I'm card carrying.
So all right. So hold on. So okay. All right. Okay, just so bear with me. Let me get it out. Here, for the listener at home, we don't prepare this ahead of time. Like we like this is all live. So Danny, okay, if certain corners of the internet, it's either the Jews or the trannies killed killed Charlie Kirk. Who's 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 leaning? Who's or now I'm hearing there's like a grassy knoll conspiracy that there's more shooters that shot Charlie Kirk,
I
right?
I heard that too. Well, if you look at, I seen a sheet the other day. The trannies are leading the pack with the shootings lately. So, um,
Yeah, what the fuck?
maybe it was a Jewish tranny, but
Hey, look, we all know the Jews didn't kill Charlie Kirk because there
no.
was no space laser involved. If there'd been a space laser,
But he was
again,
killed. He was killed.
You're gonna get a letter from Marjorie.
Yeah,
I'm gonna, yeah, yeah. All I'm
excuse
saying
me.
is, all my Jewish friends, and I have a lot of them, guys, we're friends.
Okay,
I support
not
Israel. No, no, I want to get this out. I support Israel. Deal me in on the space lasers. Come on now. I mean,
all
like
right,
John 9/11. If you
all
guys
right,
are holding out on the space lasers, I'm gonna be pissed.
all
I
right.
need it. I need in on that. Okay,
No,
go ahead.
all right. No, but I got to get this out. He was shot with a 1943 issue bolt action Mauser. Okay, did you see
Well,
that?
okay, I heard it was. I thought it was a World War One Mauser. But
I heard it was 1943 issue. Whatever.
it could have been. It could have been. It could have been.
Either way, either
Hold
way.
on. Kraken knows more about the guns than you. Kraken, have you heard anything about the condition or the make and model of Grandpa's Mauser?
What I heard was it was a Mauser that had been sporterized with aftermarket stock, and some of the barrel stuff had been chopped up, like the bayonet lug, and it had been rechambered into 30-06, which
Okay,
for that particular rifle is very common because shitloads of them came back after the war and they were sporterized into basically the everyday man's deer rifle in the 40s, 50s, into the 60s.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a sporterized rifle. I originally heard it might have been a World War One rifle. I guess now if it's not, so Danny, you've heard it's of 1943.
right. But
Now
here's
hold
my
on. Now
question.
wait.
Go
Don't
ahead.
well, wait. Hold on, because I got to get because I don't know this either. Do we know that do we know it's a 30-06 caliber gun?
I didn't
That's
see any
that's what
ballistic
I have
report.
heard that's being reported.
So
Well,
if it's a 1943, if it's a 1943 produced Mauser bolt action style gun and it's chambered in 30-06, there's a chance that it's an American 1903. Were we making 1903s in
No, no, no,
1943?
no, no, no.
no, it's a Mauser.
What they were doing is they took
Well, the 1903
Mausers.
is a Mauser.
Oh,
Go
that's
No,
ahead.
right.
Go ahead.
That's right.
Kraken first. Kraken first.
are you thinking of the '03 A3, the Springfield? That's not a
Yes.
Mauser. That's not a
It
Mauser.
it
That's a
it
Springfield.
It's
no,
a
but it's a
copy.
Mauser, dude. It's a
No,
fucking Mauser.
no, it's made in
No,
America.
it's a Springfield.
No,
Even I
no,
It's
know
no,
that.
dude.
Springfield.
No, 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 no. Hold on. We're there. Yes, it's not made by Mauser Waffenbrock or Waffen whatever in Germany, but the 1903 is a copy of a fucking Mauser. It's such a copy that we had to pay Germany royalties when they sued us. It is a fucking 1903 is a fucking Mauser. So
But
what I'm
Yeah,
let
trying to
me.
figure out
but
here is if the media is running with this, making this gun a different caliber and different whatever gun than it really is.
what is the real caliber of a Mauser?
8
Uh,
millimeter.
yes, yeah. I mean, yeah. 8 by 57 or 7.92 by 57.
Okay,
Or
Typically,
7 by
all
57.
right.
There's a bunch
So
of
so
them. For
so
that
here's my
era, it would
let
have been
me
8 millimeter Mauser. And
right
they brought
eight.
truck tons of them into America and rebarreled them into 30-06 because nobody had 8 millimeter Mauser ammo.
All right, so here's my question because I do not know that much about guns. A 200 yard away, if it was the 30-06 or if it was the 8 millimeter Mauser, no matter what it was, the guy was 200 yards away and he got a kill shot right on the neck. All right. Now, are you telling me that this kid A, did not have any training? It was a lucky shot, windage, and every other damn thing. And B, would it have been the 30-06 or the 8 millimeter, which would have traveled better from that distance for the kill shot?
I'm gonna answer this one to make it clear. Ballistically, and there's gonna be people that are gonna disagree with me. Ballistically, 8 millimeter and 30-06 are functionally identical for this
Okay.
conversation. Second of
Okay.
all, for a battle rifle round, a 200 yard shot is functionally a point blank shot.
It is?
As a
Okay.
matter of fact, a lot of military guns, even to this day, are zeroed not at 100 yards, but at 200 yards. Thirdly, okay, I'm not saying we don't know if the kid was a gun guy or not a gun guy. We don't know if the kid has any training, no training, or just, was a weekend warrior and shot sometimes with grandpa and did whatever. But a 200-yard shot is not something that you would want to be able to pick. Here's the best analogy I came up with to explain to someone what a 200-yard shot is in a battle rifle round, skill wise. A 200-yard shot is the driving equivalent of being able to parallel park a car, on the street. You probably know your way around a car a little bit. You've probably done it a few times before, but just because you parallel park a car doesn't mean you're Mario Andretti. It's not that big a deal. 200-yard
Uh,
shot with a rifle is not this whole like it's a sniper and all this and no training and the CIA and the farm in Virginia. It's like holy fuck, y'all. And it's like that's why I literally cannot even make heads or tails of what the gun is, what the caliber is, what the make of it is, because there's so much shit floating around that doesn't make sense, and a lot of it's contradictory. That's why I'm asking you, like, do you know it's a 43? That's the first I've heard that. Do we
I,
know it's a
I
Mauser?
haven't
Do we
heard
know it's a
that.
Springfield? Do we know it's a 30-06? Is it an 8 millimeter Mauser, which is 7.92 by 57 as opposed to 7.62 30-06? Like, is it a 30 caliber gun and it's getting transposed by the media? Like, the retards are fully fucking out on this with this
exactly.
gun.
That's why I do not know enough about gun content. That's why I ask those questions. I don't know. I don't know. Hell, the only thing I know about a Mauser is those bad ones were made in Czechoslovakia and the better ones were made in Germany. That's
Oh,
the
we're
only
gonna
thing I
get
know about it.
we're gonna get letters on that one because there were bad ones made in Czechoslovakia. Oh
Yeah.
shit! See, yeah.
See, that's my Mauser knowledge.
So here's a couple other points too. The FBI has come out and said that the shot was 143 yards because they've
Oh
got
fuck
video of
yeah.
where he was at, where Charlie Kirk is at, and they figured it out. So it's not even a 200-yard shot. You got to knock 60 yards off that.
And he was on a
I
Uh,
made a
high.
hand.
And
and the
is
fact
I
shooting
of
down easier? Is shooting
and the
down
fact of
easier?
well, I'm getting there. So, and here's the other deal. Everybody's like, well, he's a trained sniper because he got a hit in the neck. More than likely, he was either aiming for the head or aiming center mass and just slapped the shot.
yeah
Wow.
Because
yeah.
nobody
He
that's
wasn't trying to shoot
trained is
someone
going
in
to
the
take a
neck.
neck shot.
Yeah.
You're,
He
Well,
you're
you
got
going to
know,
aim,
misty.
you're aiming center mass or for the golden triangle, and he probably slapped the shot.
well,
Yeah,
Utah,
yeah, yeah.
Utah
Yeah.
has the death penalty by firing squad. How ironic.
Yeah, they'll probably use it on him. So, well, they might.
Here-
We'll see.
here's your gun back.
Well, but also just to make a point, because you asked this question, Danny, about like shooting down. the angle is so not a factor here at this. Maybe it could have been a slight factor to contribute to maybe why the guy missed, but it's not like an extreme angle. Like if you're like shooting like up a mountain or down, sniper shooting almost straight down, but the ranges are so short that the difference, use some trigonometry, the point of impact where you hold might be a little different. But at these ranges, and it wasn't like he's aiming straight down from the top of a skyscraper. I mean, he's up maybe from Charlie Kirk. I don't know, maybe
Three
12
stories, he
degrees.
said.
Well, no, but the angular from Charlie Kirk, was like maybe 12 degrees, 15 degrees from Charlie where Charlie
Yeah.
Kirk was sitting. Okay, let's say it's 20 degrees. I mean, hunters make that kind of shot from the top of the hill down to the deer on the bottom of the hill,
No, we do that
all the
sitting in a tree
time.
stand. And he wasn't that high up because I mean he could go to the edge of the roof and jump off without breaking a leg.
Oh, that's true. That's
So,
Yeah,
true.
and then you
but I
add the
don't know. I don't know if Charlie Kirk
143.
was sitting. I don't know if Charlie Kirk was sitting in a recessed arena or not. I mean, again, I
No,
just don't know.
he was on an elevated platform, looked to be about 4 foot tall.
Okay.
But
So
here,
that takes more angle out even. I mean, this is a chip shot. You give me 20 minutes and an 8-year-old that wants to learn it, and I can teach him to make that shot center mass.
I mean, Danny, I bring you to the John 1911 range, and we'll get you out there, and
oh, I know.
within minutes, I'll have you making the shot that got JFK, and and with the same training, if you'll get a first shot hit on a humanoid sized target at 200 yards, because I got a big piece of steel at 200 yards that literally is 36, 18 at the shoulders,
I
and
seen the
you,
article on that thing, on
yeah,
that big piece of steel.
you'll yeah, you'll get a first shot. It shoots. It's just basically a point blank shot with a rifle.
Really? No,
Oh
that,
yeah.
that's interesting because on the ballistics and the windage and the angles and stuff, that's all new to me. I could it have been this kid just a deranged kid and got a lucky shot, or
Yeah.
is there history
It's
behind
not.
him?
It's not. It's not luck. I mean, I'm sure the gun was sighted in by Grandpa. He probably used Grandpa's ammo. And then, I don't, again, and the reason why I was asking the questions is I got a couple emails on this in private messages about, because now people are harping on like the bullet didn't exit. And it's like, well, I mean, I guess I've heard it didn't exit, but I haven't seen the wound. Second of all, I don't know what the ammo was. I don't know what kind of ballistic tip it had. I don't know. I don't know that it didn't exit. I don't know if it didn't, if it's under the skin. Like, I have no idea what we don't know. There's people are running with stuff,
Right.
and it's just like, well, I mean, we'll see. I don't know,
And
you know?
do you ever think the FBI will actually ever release the full report on everything? I don't think they will. I think it'll be
On Charlie
highly,
Kirk?
yeah, I don't think they
Oh,
will.
I think every sentence will be released.
You
It's going to
do?
have to be because it's going to have to come out in court in order to get a conviction and a death penalty sentence.
Yeah,
I,
the kid's not alive, or the kid's alive. You're going to have to, the thing is, they can get it like the boy girl that shot up the
It,
school down there and down in Tennessee, that they still haven't released the manifesto. Some people have snuck parts of it out. Well, because they're not trying to convict them. It doesn't have to go to trial. But I think this one, yeah, and especially considering the administration that's in power right now. And again, I understand that um, there's this idea that like, well, but it's a state case or a county case and it's not a federal case. It'd be no problem bringing in federal charges. Then all of a sudden, it's like, give us all your shit. I mean, this is
that's
not.
true.
I mean, I don't think this is going to be. I think the politics and just the situation. I don't. I mean, they're not going to be able to Jewish space laser their way out of this one to make it some kind of crazy, great fucking, whatever.
nope.
Like, I
They're
don't,
going to
you know.
they're going to put every single drop they've got in one big bag and drop it
You want to
right
hear?
on his fucking head.
I'm going to start a conspiracy right now. Are you ready?
I'm happy. Go ahead.
Well, here's the conspiracy, and you know what? It's kind of not a conspiracy. People are so hell bent and determined to not ever accuse trannies of violence at this point that they would rather make up shit accusing the Jews, accusing the Illuminati, accusing, I don't know, the Pope. They'll accuse, they'll accuse anybody they can. I guarantee what's the late? That's basically the one they got Jimmy Kimmel on.
Right.
Somehow
He
this
said
guy's
he said the
fucking
kid was
MAGA.
MAGA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How
They
about
will they
that?
will do anything they can to fucking go anywhere near these trannies are killing people. And I'm gonna this is a good story. I gotta bring this up. I don't know if we brought this up on the tranny that what the I can't remember which one it was. Was it the tranny that it wasn't the tranny that shot the school? Maybe it was. Yeah, I guess it had to have been the tranny. Okay, so the tranny that shot up the Catholic school just like ancient history. What was that? 4 weeks ago?
Mhm.
5 weeks ago? I don't even know. If you go looking into the darkest corners of the internet, and I was like, what the fuck's going on here? Because I used to know fair. I mean, when you work nights, you work, and work in the cities. You know all these people. I mean, I knew trannies and drug dealers, and no, seriously, I know some I was friends with them. And
No, I'm laughing because they were all out the last few nights for me.
oh, okay, and okay, stop.
They were out there. Trust me. It's like holy shit. Now you
But
know why
but it's like,
now you know why everyone was sidearmed.
yeah, but okay. Is he making a joke about where he's working? But okay. So, but hold on. This is an important point. If you look, listen to this podcast. Don't take my word for this. What I'm about to tell you. Get into the deepest, darkest corners of not Facebook. I guess there's Facebook groups, but I guess there's what is it, 4chan, and what are these other, some of these other places. But Reddit is one. Get into Reddit. Go get into Reddit and find these trans groups, okay? And start reading some of their shit and the shit they post, especially right after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, like right after. Okay? And what you see will blow your fucking minds.
The way they were
Because
celebrating.
when I think, when I think of trannies and transsexuals and all this, it's like, it's almost always dudes. I think maybe like one girl, I don't know, maybe, but mostly dudes, and they're a lot of them are ugly, and they're trying to not be ugly, and a lot of them are unfortunately really tall, especially when you put heels on. They got big fucking hands, and again, I knew some small ones, and some you're like, okay, I guess I can see that, but it was all about, they were trying to live a life where they could have a job, they could go places, they could not be embarrassed, maybe they could be accepted, try to have friends, just whatever it was, and maybe, try, like trying to find someone that could like be their boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, solve all those problems, like whatever all of that means to you, trying to live your life. Okay. Maybe you hated your life because your parents didn't accept you. So you left the farm, you moved to the big city because you couldn't be a tranny in small town America. Like there's cities are magnets for kind of these kinds of people. You go into these Reddit groups, it is nothing like that at all. These Reddit groups, these transsexual Reddit groups, they are like end of the world millennialist. They want to kill themselves. They want to kill the world. They want to kill you. They're angry at everybody. They're angry at themselves. They hate everybody. They hate themselves. I've never seen anything like this. I'm telling you, dude, it's like sparkly, glittery fucking ISIS in there. It's like,
Really?
I'm telling you, these people that you see on these fucking group, the shit you'll see, the shit they post, you're like, what the fuck? You're like, I mean, like, literally, if you saw what I saw in some of these groups and you saw one of these people at the airport going through security, you'd be like, holy fuck. Is this person going to blow up the airplane? Like, I'm serious. Like I don't know
They're
what
man
the
of the
fuck has
world.
happened. I don't know what's happened to all these fucking trannies, but they've turned into this crazy violent. I mean, like it's like suicide, like like suicide bombers. I mean,
Well,
I'm telling you, it's like fucking ISIS, and nobody's talking about it. And the media will bend over, and this I'm telling you, this is I'm going somewhere with this. The media will bend over backwards for some reason. Jimmy Kimmel and all these fucking assholes. They will say anything that isn't true to keep from going anywhere near
the
this
truth.
crazy like these crazy violent tranny people. And it's like they won't talk about it, they won't acknowledge it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because this podcast will hit YouTube. Supposedly YouTube is, they're going to stop unbanning everything and whatever from all the stuff in COVID. I wouldn't be surprised, as much as I've been very specific about these crazy tranny violent people and their movements and what they believe in, that it gets shut down and gets deleted and I start having problems with YouTube. I'm telling
Wow.
you, I've never seen anything like it. It's like this. I don't know where these people get the power. I don't know if people are
I
afraid of them, but it's
well,
crazy.
Marky, you work nights and in your previous life, and you've seen a whole bunch of crazy things like that. Well, I can attest to the fact that along the riverfront on a Friday and Saturday night, they are out. Trust me on that. They are out in the deep bowels of hell. They were there. They were there, and I thank God that the company that was with me. I'll leave it that way.
He had to have armed security to keep the trannies away. So yeah, I mean, we can't say that, but people know that you do like infrastructure work for
Right. For the government. Yeah.
I mean, you've talked about people jumping off of bridges on this podcast.
Well,
So,
they might. Yeah. Well, yes, I did. And uh, let's just say it's like
have you ever seen
the
a
way.
tranny jump off a bridge?
I didn't ask if they were on the way down, but anyway,
Oh, oh God.
uh, they were.
We
No.
shouldn't
It
laugh. I'm
just.
not trying to laugh at that.
They were out in full force. The weather was warm. It was nice. Something about the riverfront and the action there attracts the
So where
different.
you were working on an infrastructure project for the
Yes,
government, and you
yes.
had armed security, and you're telling me there are all these tranny prostitutes walking around?
They were there like they didn't give two. Back to your argument, they didn't give two shits what was there. In fact, they had to be shooed off from going underneath the bridge.
To turn
Yes,
tricks or just be trained? Like
I
what?
don't.
Like what are they?
I don't know what they were, but they were walking in the undesignated area, and they were politely told, "Get the f out."
So okay. So like I'm just curious because like I haven't worked the streets since 2008. Um, 08, 09. Yeah. So it would be August of 2008. Um, so the trannies that you're seeing now, are there hookers?
I would believe so. I wasn't going to go asking for the
Are
price,
car
but
are cars pulling up and they're talking to people in
well,
cars and then they're getting into
not,
cars and
not some stuff like that, but more of a congregating area of in mass for them in the in down in the
real.
bowels of hell.
You mean like a social is like a social
Yes,
gathering?
yes, that's where they congregated. Yes.
Wait, don't okay. See, I'm like an old guy right now, and it's like, well, back in my day, the trannies all went to the tranny bar. Now they're going under a bridge. Like, what are they doing under
Well,
there? Music?
there's a couple of bars right by the area, and the area was very frequented. And they took their after 2 in the morning. If they have a 2 in the morning license, let's just say there were a lot of them out on the streets and
Okay.
in.
Well, okay. Okay. So yeah. So this is common. Okay. So what happens is you get. I hate to tell in what urban planning. I this is. Oh, I'm gonna get a fucking letter. So all right. Whenever you have a gay bar, okay. Whenever you have a gay bar, like I would say like again, I don't know about every fucking gay bar, but I remember there were a couple down there by the stadium that they had to fucking get rid of or try to run them out because they could build all the stadiums. Um, these bars they would stay open till 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, but then if you got anywhere near those bars after, say, I don't know, definitely
After
after two
last
o'clock in the
call.
morning. Oh my god! Like they would leave the bars, and then like there'd be a car would pull into a fucking shadow of a corner of a parking lot across the street, or there'd be as a matter of fact, holy shit, you're onto something because the one bar I'm thinking of is on the fucking river.
I
And they would
know.
go behind the bar, and it's fucking holy shit. I never made a connection between trannies and rivers. I
Yeah.
never,
Well, it's apparent nationwide, I guess, because
apparently.
it must be something. It must
I'm
that
not.
you know
Yeah, that
who
movie, A
knows
River Runs Through It. I'm going to have to reevaluate the fucking title of that movie. It's like, wait a minute, what am I watching?
something. Something. All I want to say is that at 3 in the morning, they were out in mass. It was crazy. And coming into the restricted area, then being very forcefully told, get the fuck out.
I mean, are these like men wearing like little fucking glittery dresses and platform
You
heels, or
know,
like what is it?
I did not do a cup check on any of them, but the thing of it is that it was they were just out. It's like it was warm out. It was this, and the lure of the riverfront just gets them. It's something.
It's and
It's
then
something.
were any of them mean? Or did you see any tranny fights?
I wasn't looking, but I don't
Okay.
know. You know, like, oh, he's my man. He's my man. I don't know,
I
but
have no idea. But
uh,
what I'm trying to figure out is if these people that I saw on Reddit, if they're as upset and mean and angry in like down by the river as they are on the internet. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because the people that I saw on the internet in this fucking group, like you wouldn't want. I mean, I was like, these people sound like they're dangerous. You'd have to shoot them to get them away from you. They're so
well,
violent.
let me put it this way: a lot of them that were wandering over our way when they seen that, the fellows I were all armed. They they put up a stink, but they left. They would have kept trying to progress if there weren't armed personnel there. They
Really,
are very forceful in their thoughts.
really.
Yes, 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 yes. Like I told you
That's
earlier, when everybody was sidearmed. The area, the location, the logistics, whatever it was, the team I was with, everybody was packing.
sounds
Everybody.
like a real sounds like a real bad glittery part of town. So
It is. No, it
okay.
is. No, it is. It is. But unfortunately, it's where the river rose, aka a bridge.
So let's get off the trannies. This can't be the tranny podcast.
That's right.
So
Enough of that.
okay. So what's the latest on California going from enforcing mask mandates to now saying cops can't wear masks?
Double
What's
standards.
is that still going? Kraken, is that still going on? Has there been
Yeah,
any?
Newsom is kind of banging on that drum. The problem is he cannot countermand federal policy because of the supremacy clause. So it's kind of like the uh shit. What was that Wyatt Earp movie that was real popular? Val Kilmer and
Tombstone.
yeah, Tombstone. Uh, he can send the the California State Patrol up to some ICE officers and say, we're going to arrest you for wearing a mask. And they can just look at him and say, you know what, Sheriff Behan, I'm not going to let you arrest me today and walk off. There's it's a law that's not enforceable.
Right.
Well, you
So,
remember
but on the
there
flip
was a
side, if you're a protester, you can stand outside an ICE facility with a mask and goggles and a bullhorn and it's the way I understand it. The law is strictly for law enforcement. But with the feds, it's just not enforceable.
Well, that's interesting because the hippies were so happy with the supremacy clause when former Governor Jan Brewer of Arizona got in Barack Obama's face at that on that airport, about the border, and basically it went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court told the
The governor.
told the governor, told the state of Arizona that the issue of immigration and international borders is the purview solely of the federal government and immigration policy, not of the governor. And it's like, fuck you, because it's, you don't have any authority over this. And the state can't has no authority over federal agents on how they dress. Like, there's just this, it's like, okay, whatever. And apparently, like, well, what's the latest on the shooting at the ICE facility? Because here's this is the big scare is everyone's kind of nervous that there's going to be some kind of an attack by some right-wing loser who's going to come out of his mom's basement with a mushroom bowl haircut, and he's going to start hurting people. And then, which is what happened at the AME church down there in South Carolina. And, it's like then you started hearing about there was a shooting at an ICE facility in Texas the other day, and it's like a sniper, which it was, and then it came out that it was a bunch of migrants that were shot, not
Mm-hmm.
ICE officers, and it's like, oh no, here we go. And then they go and the person killed themselves, and it's got all this anti-ICE shit on the bullets. I mean, they're just killing migrants now in the furtherance of their cause. Thought it was
Well,
kind of just the whole thing's bizarre.
there's a really big ICE detention center outside of Chicago, and it's been on the news morning, noon, and night that you might have seen the video where this one lady was running for she's running for congressional seat in Illinois, and she was where she was once not supposed to be, and one of the masked up agents chucked her about 20 feet and she fell
Oh,
right
I
on
did
her
see
ass.
that.
That was,
I
yes,
did
that's,
see that.
yeah. And here, I don't know if it's the feds are just getting fed up with anything, but they're paintball and pepperballing the piss out of these people now. No questions asked. They showed one guy, he had like 30 uh, pepperball marks on his back. He looked like he had attacked by a beehive. I think the federal agents are just getting fed up with shit. I really do. I really do. And enough of this blasé attitude. You come on the property, but is it going to turn into a real bullet scenario? That's what worries me someday.
Well,
I think it.
There's a story related to this, and it's not getting much press. Let me see if I can't find it. And I'm glad they're finally doing this because this needed to happen years ago. But the Justice Department has announced that they are going to start looking at. Here we go. Justice Department targets Soros empire over suspected links to violent extremists. This is from the Daily Wire. The Trump administration has directed Justice Department prosecutors across the country to investigate whether George Soros' grant-making network has provided material support to terror groups. And everyone knows, like Open Society and all this other stuff, it's open. They specifically say that the directive was issued to U.S. attorneys in California, New York, Washington D.C., Chicago, Detroit, and Maryland. And you see all these protesters, and a lot of these rioters are being organized. Like when there's like all the somebody delivered a big old thing of bricks. And it's like that. I
Right,
mean,
right,
the
right.
bricks cost money. Like who ordered that? Who paid for that? Or people that go to these museums and pour, like these Earth liberation, like they spray paint or they glue their hand to the wall, and then they throw shit all over the famous painting in some kind of protest about the environment. And it's like, who's paying for this shit? Because I mean, again, I hate to sound like a broken record here, but it's like if John 1911 was pumping money to somebody that was going out and like committing mass or expensive or grievous violence or trying to destroy cultural artifacts, they'd bring me up on RICO fucking charges.
Yes, they would.
But George
Yes, they
Soros could do
would.
whatever the fuck he wants, and I thought that was, who's paying for all of this? So I just thought that was worth. I thought that the whole George Soros thing I thought was worth mentioning. Oh, and here's another one, just in kind of in the same vein. So going after George Soros, there's been so much political violence. Have you guys heard about what the politicians in Ohio want to do?
Mm-mm.
Let's see here. There is a bill. There is a bill in Ohio bill would allow some elected officials to carry guns in government facilities. Let's see
Really?
here. Yeah, because it's funny. It's like all of a sudden now. Thanks. Let me see here. This is from Channel 5. Only officials would consider. Let's see. Hold on. It's Ohio lawmakers introducing a new bill which would allow lawmakers and other elected officials to bring guns into government buildings. So if the bill passes, only officials with concealed carry permits would be allowed to bring in handguns, and they would have to have a photo ID confirming they hold position in office. The bill would apply to members of state legislature and judges. Lawmakers have been working on the bill for 2 years. So, and
Really?
here's the thing: it's interesting because it's elected officials. So if you are an elected person, let's say the Capitol, the State House, and you're a state representative, if this passes, if I was a state representative, I could probably carry a gun coming into the building and carry around in chambers and all that, and even on the floor, unless they prohibit it on the floor. But is that going to cover, like, if I'm an elected official and you guys work in my office? You're not elected official? Are you going to be allowed to carry guns, or is it just going to be the actual politician in themselves? It's interesting. It's interesting in the state of Ohio. They fought so hard. They fought so hard on concealed carry in this fucking state. It was crazy the shit they made everybody do. But now it's like, well, okay, I guess you're going to start shooting everybody. We get to carry guns now
Yeah,
in the
now we
courthouse.
can protect ourselves, right? Oh, speaking about government, did you see where the Democrat governor of Maryland now requested from Trump to send in troops because Baltimore has turned into such a, crime-ridden thing, I guess, and the Democrats are not sacrificing. They want to kill this Democrat for asking Trump for federal help with the crime because
Mm.
he's going against all these other Democrat governors that don't want any federal troops or any help whatsoever. This guy is asking for it, so he is in the shit list with the Democrats now.
Well, you'll notice the media doesn't talk about what's going on in Washington anymore. Like, it was like, oh my God, he's going to bring troops to Washington. They bring troops to Washington for January 6th. Oh my God, Trump's going to bring troops to Washington. It's like, oh my, it's like this, and all of a sudden it's like, it's real quiet because Washington, D.C. has gotten a lot better.
It's safe now.
A lot. I mean, it's not totally safe. There's some neighborhoods, but it's gotten a lot better. And it's like, ooh, they don't report that now because they can't talk about how terrible it is because then they're going to have to talk to people because there's literally people walking around Washington that are commie Democrats that would never vote Republican that are like, man, it's pretty safe. I'm liking it. It's like I used to have to. Like this one woman. She goes, I could never even drive around the city with my doors unlocked because they yank you out of your car. It was so bad. And she's like, this is great. And
But
it's
can you
like this woman is the wrong political. She's the wrong political party. She's the wrong ethnic persuasion and the wrong skin color that they want to be putting that woman on TV.
right?
And it's like that's just all of a sudden it's like, well, we're going to get out of here. Let's go to Chicago or Maryland or Baltimore, and everyone's like, Donald, because they don't want to talk about if I go to
You
Washington.
know,
It's a whole new fucking program up there right now.
it's funny you say that because they interview Chicago residents and they're begging for troops to come. But if you listen to Pritzker or that mayor of Chicago, he's a piece of work, but they're fighting to have any federal authorities here. But ask the citizens, and every time a citizen says yes, they cut the interview. Yeah, why? Because they don't want the truth out, and that's what it is. And that's not a conspiracy. The people in Chicago want the federal troops to come in. It's that bad here. We're still leading the nation in murders every month. It's crazy, but we have the strictest gun laws.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, yeah, it's.
Uh,
I mean, Chicago is everyone knows what how terrible that is. So Kraken, I have a question.
I have an answer.
Have you heard about the newest weapon that has been developed by the Air Force that's been released? Have you heard about
Hmm.
this new?
The self-making bed in the suite?
the space laser,
Hold on, let's see here. Let me find this. How do I spell this? Oh,
THIS.
you suck. Hold on. It's not coming up.
You asked,
Hold
I
on.
told you.
The Air Force has weapons?
Here we go.
At the
Hold
country
on.
club.
With
This
airstrips.
is great. Air Force unveils a silent but deadly addition to its concession stand arsenal. The gas produced. So the Air Force Academy football team is adding a new menu option to its selection of concession stand treats for home games this fall. The latest addition to the unit is a silent but deadly one, the B-2 Bomber Nachos. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Seriously, let's see. Hold on. The B-2 Stealth Bomber. Let's see. It looks the nacho chips but hold on. It gets better. The nacho chips are shaped like the Stealth Bomber, and uh, hold on. Hold on. What's on them? Airman goes in clear. What they had the thing they had on it. Uh, where is it? I don't. Oh, come on. 19. Oh, so the reverting to a 9-year-old kid. The flip side, it, it's not giving me. I think they have like they have some kind of pepper on them. They've got cheese pepper, but they literally each little chip nacho is shaped like it's got this trapezoid. It looks like a B-2 bomber. It's hilarious, and they come in a little triangular or the way in box they serve it in. So they're monetizing the B-2 bomber at the football games, and I thought that was great because I'm a big fan of the Army Navy game, and it's good to see the Air Force step up their stuff. And apparently, the subtitle is the gas produced from these stealth nachos could be considered a WMD. So, I'll
Real
I'll,
miss.
I'll send I'll, I'll send
Now
you.
you say that knowing that I had Mexican food tonight. Thanks. Now my
Yes,
stomach's
well,
bubbling.
do you have any B-2 bomber nachos? I want some of these nachos. I'm like, I do. I want some of these nachos. I just sent you guys the links so you can see it in the picture in the group chat, so you can take a look at it. So I thought it was worth sharing. I thought it was fun.
I'll have to go to the
It's
Navy Air Force game and get the nachos.
that would be. You know what? Well, you'd have to. Well, and I think it's only at home games, so you'd have to go to Colorado. You have to go to the Colorado Springs. Isn't that where the Air Force Academy
Yeah,
Yes.
is?
that's
Yes,
only
we
about
were
a
out there
6 hour
before.
drive for me.
For you, it's nothing. You drive all over the place. So
Yep. Yeah,
Excuse
that's a
I wonder
me.
if I
short little
could.
drive for me.
I wonder if I can get some shipped. Some B-2 bomber nachos. That's awesome. I think that's great. I love that. I love that stuff. Because the NFL, they piss me off, so it's like whatever. But I just like the academies. I'm like, that's cool. It made me feel good. So hey, have you guys heard the what's been going on with the EPA and DEF fluid?
Oh, for
The
for
latest.
diesel trucks.
Yeah, have you heard the latest? Well, they wanted the government, the Trump administration, to have a bill, and they're trying to undo all that, but it takes an act of Congress. but there's a new development that the EPA has now ordered, and it's something that they can order, and it's it's actually worth it give a lot of relief. The EPA is now telling vehicle manufacturers that if a vehicle runs out of DEF fluid, stop immediately putting it into limp mode.
Yes, I did see that. I
Yeah.
did see that. I did see that. And it's I guess it's a problem with those with diesel pickups.
Oh, and diesel everything, diesel tractors, diesel equipment. It's crazy. And something happens to your DEF fluid, you go into limp mode. It's like, if you're 2 hours, 6 hours, like I don't know what they're trying to tell them to do, but basically they're saying, look, if the thing runs out of goddamn DEF, give it 12 hours. You know what I mean? Do something like
Right.
give them time. As opposed to just automatic limp mode and just shutting everything down. Again, it's just more some common sense. They need to get rid of DEF fluid.
Yeah,
That
because if
shit
you're
is
yeah,
terrible.
if you're on dead on the side of the road or you limp into mode and you can't get off on an interstate or something, you're asking for trouble. You're just asking for it.
Or your DEF fluid goes bad. That's one too. A lot of people don't realize DEF fluid can get hot and it can go bad. Yeah, and it causes issues. We see it in tractors all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, we see that quite a bit because tractors don't get the airflow that trucks get, and so they if they're out, that heat gets them. Well, you know that you drive like you drew tractors, Danny. I mean, did your tractor have DEF fluid on it? That was before your time, right?
No, it was before electricity. Yeah, no, they did not. They were actually just starting to phase that in when I went off the road and more into the office. So, but I hear the guys completely, they hate it. They hate it. They said it's an unknown thing, or not unknown. It's an unneeded thing that they really don't want. But that's all EPA standard shit. And isn't Trump trying to dismantle the EPA or cut it way back?
I think he's trying to cut it way back. I don't think he's going to dismantle it, but they're trying to definitely roll back all these emission standards. And a lot of them are through statute, so you have to pass a law to unwind them. But I thought it was interesting. It's like it's a low rent story, like it's a low level story. Doesn't seem that interesting or that significant. But what it tells me is it tells me that there are people in government that are like actively like there's someone that works in the EPA that's dealing with these diesel issues and is literally actively every day trying to find ways to stop fucking people. You know what I mean?
Yes, I
Because
do.
it's such a small thing for the government, but it's such a big thing for the consumer that government wouldn't even pay attention to this problem. But the consumer, it would be a major game changer. And also like we saw there was a change in the ATF. The ATF, you can now bring in fully intact barrels in parts kits
Really?
now in the U.S. Yeah, it was started. I think it was in June of this year. Kraken, did you see that? Like you don't have to cut up the barrels now to bring the
Yep.
barrels in.
Yep.
The ATF, the ATF had started making. You couldn't bring, you had to cut the barrels up, and so
You don't have to
even though if you
demil them
bring,
anymore.
yeah, you don't have to fuck the barrels up, and it's like just like stop screwing with people, and it's just these small things that I think are worth mentioning, for the listener at home that it's not all bad out there. I thought it was kind of pretty good too. So,
Well, now if they
well,
could just dismantle the FFL.
the 1968 Gun Control Act. I
Yes,
mean,
right. That's
I don't
right.
think we'd ever see that dismantled. I think that politically, it's like I don't know if you'd ever see the deregulation of machine guns. I think you could maybe open up the registry, but I don't know politically there's going to be anybody that's going to want to sign off on that. I don't know. I mean, but okay. Well, let me ask you this, Danny. Do you think the
Oh,
Republicans are going to keep the House in the midterms?
yes, I do. Yes, I
Do you
really
think
do.
that, or do you wish that?
No, no, not wishful thinking and not hoping. I think they will. Usually the party that's in loses in the midterms. But I think with all this crazy shit going on, and like you had touched on earlier, that when they interview somebody, they're not the right sexual persuasion, the right color, the right this, the right political persuasion, whatever. the people are turning against the Democrats, and because look at their policies, look what's happening to the cities, and we all know that Democrats need the major cities to, survive. Well, the people and their voting bases are starting to turn against them in these major cities. I think that's what's going to hurt them overall. Look at some of the Democrats' policies. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Their
Well, you
policies are
think that
insane.
but typically, so you think, because typically, like, I don't know, like, are we in Trump's first term, or are we in his second term? But typically, when an administration comes in, they lose the House in the midterms. And my point is, a lot of these things that Republicans want to do that requires by statute, if they don't get it done and they lose the House, it's never going to get done.
Correct. I don't think they're going to lose the House. I believe they're going to keep it, albeit a slim majority. But I think there are enough of the Democrat base people that are fed up with the message that the Democrats are sending. I mean, look at Newman, Pritzker, the messages that they're sending, and the average people are fed up with it. I really think that the turnaround, so many more people are now registering Republican from the inner cities than have ever been registered before. I think that they're losing their
Yeah.
base.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree. I hope it carries over. I just was curious, like, like a lot of this stuff, like EPA stuff, and a lot of these emissions, and all
Right.
these things that people want to do. Like, if you lose the House, so, like, did you Kraken? Like, how many are all the how many automakers are going back to the V8s? Have you been following that? Like, is it all of them now? Like, I heard Lexus or Toyota is now coming out with a V8 to put in their Supra, or some kind of, like, maybe it's their Supra. They're putting a V8 in
Yeah.
their Supra.
The trend is starting to swing back towards horsepower and performance versus green
Turbos.
fuel economy vehicles. Uh, it's a lot easier to get the horsepower now with the technology we have and still keep it relatively clean. So they're kind of trying to split the middle and bring back the performance aspect without totally trashing the greenies out there because, even Democrats like flashy, fast, cool sounding cars. Not all of them, drive a Prius. Uh, so yeah, but anymore, you can do the same thing with V6s and a lot of these now. So, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a V8 issue, but the trend is turning back to some more performance stuff versus economy stuff.
Well,
Yeah, but you have a hard time getting the gas mileage with the V8 that they're mandating. But then the problem is too, you take any small engines to get the horsepower, and you're turbocharging them,
Mhm.
and so
correct.
they're not going to last as long. I mean, look at Toyota. Toyota is a
All
disaster right now.
their full size pickups. I was reading. Just it's funny you say that. I just was reading an article yesterday on the Toyota pickups that the smaller ones went to four cylinders with turbos, and the full size ones they dropped the V8 and they went to a six with turbos, and they are not selling. They are not
Well, they're
selling. People want the six and the V8 back.
yeah, they want this. They want the six and the V8, but also what's happening is, like, so Toyota had this big issue with these V8s, or with these sixes. They were grenading themselves. Some of them were grenading fairly quickly, and then they had a recall, and they're like trying to figure it out, and then they're doing crate engines as opposed to rebuilds, and then they figured out it was from metal chips in the process. Somebody wasn't cleaning out the blocks that they were machining at, like, third shift in Alabama for some shit, and so it's like, oh, this is all taken care of. Now there's trucks in 2025 that are grenading, and there's trucks that are grenading. I just heard one today, a truck grenaded. It had, was it 10 or 30,000 miles on it? It wasn't even covered under the recall. And then there's a truck that had an engine replaced, a Tundra. This is all Tundras. Had an engine replaced, and they put the crate. I don't know if they put a crate in it, or maybe they did a rebuild on it. And, like, he didn't make it. I don't even think he made it 50 miles and it started tearing itself apart. And because they're all just trying to make these engines so efficient that I just feel like that they're losing all the reliability and durability. And Porsche just announced like a couple of days ago that because they were going to make the Boxster, the Cayman Boxster, the 718 as exclusively EV car. They just announced that they're going to push back the EV and they're going to keep making the gas engines.
Really?
Porsche's. I heard Porsche's profits are down 40% because they made all these EVs and nobody's buying them.
Well, that was a big thing with Lambo. Lambo was supposed to make EVs, and they were well. You and I know somebody that made a fortune selling the supposedly last gas model, and they dropped it too. So what they're doing now is the new Lambo is gas over electric or electric over gas or both in them. 0 to 60 in 1.8 seconds. What do you need? Unbelievable, isn't it?
Well,
Crazy.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Toyota's got a because I've been looking at these trucks. I was looking at there's a truck that Toyota or Lexus Toyota. It's a Lexus, and it's their. I was like real close to getting one, and the part of the reason why I didn't, it was just like, well, I'd have to make modifications to the truck on the front end for clearance, and it would look crazy. It turned like a Mad Max vehicle, and I kind of wanted something that I could, like have me I could valet and do stuff with. But the other thing is this vehicle. It's the Lexus LX 700H Overtrail, and so it's a hybrid, and it's got this big ass battery in the back, and it's got 12 inches of clearance, and like it's on like I think it's on hydraulics, like so you can go up and down like the Range Rovers, which is probably not that reliable. But they're putting this hybrid in. Not excuse me. This hybrid is not being put in for range. This vehicle doesn't. The vehicle I think gets the same range or even a little less than a gas one, but it's for the power. They're to give it an extra because it's got a turbocharged V6 in it, but they need more power because it's a big ass truck, and so they're putting this hybrid. It's got electric motors in it, I guess, for extra horsepower for crawling up shit or doing whatever off road. And it's like I don't know. It's like it's just so terrible
More
what's
just
been
to
going
go
on. Like
wrong.
and it's I mean like Lamborghini, they had that V12 that they made. They made that V12 for like 30 years. There's a
Yes.
V12 that they made, and they essentially were this, and they were so basically those things were bulletproof. And it's because Europe is doing all of these stupid emissions and all these electric mandates by these, and so all these car companies have to try to survive this, and Trump is fucking all this up because the American consumer is not buying these vehicles. The all these vehicles with these EPA rates, they're chewing themselves apart. They're blowing up all these companies, and now Trump is proposing that if you are for his tariff regimen, I don't know if you call it homologation, but basically one of the rules of his tariff regime is if it's legal to sell in a U.S. as far as the safety whatever standards, it's legal. It's going to be legal in England and legal in Germany.
Hmm.
And if you don't like it, you can pay 57% fucking tariffs. And it's like, well,
Wow.
if you want to sell your gay ass fucking cars here, we're not going to mandate that you can't or fuck with Yeah, if you want to sell a car that nobody wants here, yeah, we don't care. But it's like Trump is basically trying to make it so if it's legal to sell here, it's legal to sell in other countries, and vice versa. And what's happening is all these car companies in Europe are balking because they know they're fucked.
There
They're
they are.
so fucked on these electrics, and they're going to go out of business. It's
Nobody
like they're
wants
trying to
electric.
run. Yeah, they're not. They're going to. Oh, dude, I saw this. I should send you this. So you know how there's an issue with electric cars, and they if they can catch fire. Let me see if I can send you guys this. there's a car company in China um, with the electric car. Let's see here. Let's see here. In China, electric car, China, battery eject. Have you guys seen this?
Mm-mm.
Let's see.
No.
Electric car battery eject. There is a an EV in China. It's an SUV. I don't. If you guys want to play this, so basically, it's got this system where if your battery starts to catch on fire or overheat, the car uses, I guess, compressed air and will eject this giant heavy ass battery out the side of the car, kind of like ejecting, out of a fighter plane. And it's like, it's an interesting idea, but it's like, okay, well, I mean, if it's, in a house, that's not going to help. If you're out in public and you're you eject these giant 800-pound batteries, um, it's going to kill people. Like this thing, if it hit people, it would take out 15 people.
A
These
project.
it's
What happened? I got hit with a projectile shot out of a car.
in the link I just sent you. You have to turn. Well, you guys probably shouldn't play because one of you guys will screw up your headphones. But you can watch it after we're off the podcast. But it's like these electric cars, I'm just convinced are just dog shit. So all right. So well, anything else we're talking about, or we were kind
No.
of going for a while and just kind of catching up on some of the politics and things, and just wanted to catch up with the boys.
Politics
Spend an
and
hour talking about
politics. I
talk
got. I've got the title for the show. Politics and nightlife.
politics and nightlife. I was going to call it I don't know, sparkly ISIS. Kraken's been awfully quiet tonight.
He's taking
So
it all in.
he's taking it all, and he's like fucking
oh,
fucking
oh,
trannies. I'm fucking out of here.
oh, Kraken! I'm gonna be. Don't say the name, but I'm gonna be out in your neighborhood next month. Maybe
Oh,
I'll give you a
cool.
call. You
Yeah,
know,
sounds good.
you told me I've been pronouncing the name wrong, so yeah, I was. I'll give you a call. And how far is that from your house?
You got to get with me offline and refresh me where you're going to be.
Yeah,
But
I
as I
will.
recall,
Yeah,
not
I will when we
the
when
route
we
you've got to
close.
take is probably within a half hour, 40 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No.
Not bad at all.
So wherever you guys are going that you aren't inviting me, are there going to be any cute waitresses there?
It depends on if it's by the river or not.
Okay, I was just curious.
I,
That's an inside.
I don't.
That's an
I don't
inside
know
joke, not for the
if
not for the
if
listeners.
you come out and we find a cute waitress, then I can cock block you, right?
Oh
So
my God.
Kraken's accusing me of cock blocking him on his waitress, and I was like, I was just fucking.
I'm
Oh,
just having this great conversation with she's about a 12 on a scale of 1 to 10 in my book. And then somebody brings up, doesn't your wife like that? Or somehow it gets brought up that my wife is sitting at home while I'm sitting there eating steak, flirting with a waitress.
that I'm fucking paying
Now,
for.
now,
Oh
in
boy.
my book, that is not a wingman. That is a cock blocker extraordinary. You are king cock blocker.
Well,
Oh,
I
that's my
can't.
KCB, king cock blocker.
that's
Yeah,
my new. That's I'm no longer Marky. I'm cock blocker.
I can't call him that because every time that we've eaten with Marky, my wife's been with us. So he's yeah. So
Yeah.
he hasn't done it to me. He hasn't,
Hey,
because.
Well,
I
and I
hate to.
wasn't even flirting. I was just being unusually polite for my grumpy old self.
Yeah. Uh huh. Yeah. Well, no, I'm not going to say anything. So,
No,
No, you already did, KCB.
yeah, you already did without saying a word.
I was on a hunting trip in Cody, Wyoming, and I was out to dinner with Doc, and we went to this, like, it was the only restaurant we could find, and it was like this farm to table whatever place. And there was this waitress. It was just him and and like I was like a weeknight, whatever. And this waitress about followed me back to my hotel. Doc literally had to be like, "You need to back the fuck off." Like, so hey, I'm not the original cock blocker, so um, you guys have fun at
So you're
what?
saying Doc was your mentor.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. I
You
learned it from
learned your
him.
cock blocking skills from Doc.
Okay. Oh, hey, look. I could go over there, and I could put in a good word for you at the, with the waitress if you want. I see her. I could, I
Dude,
see her.
uh, let's be realistic here. On my best day when I was her age, I couldn't pull one leg, let alone both of hers.
Okay. So yeah.
She's that
So
fucking hot.
yeah, you got it bad for her. I give Kraken. He's got it bad for her. He's got it
Dude, I'll
bad.
tell you what, if I hit the Mega Millions, I'm not going to tell anybody, but there'll be signs because you'll never see
Yeah.
her at that restaurant
Yeah, I
again.
was going to say she won't have a job there anymore.
Oh my god.
That tall guy with the big nose will have to be your waiter from then on.
Okay. All right. Yeah. He's, I'm not going to say his name either, but I know him as well. Because again, I go to this restaurant all the time. So it's basically
Is,
my kitchen.
Marky, is it the same restaurant where we've eaten at before?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
oh man. That's a nice quaint spot. Now you're cock blocking. Holy cow. Just,
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah. That's a nice place.
A really nice
I
place.
mean, it generally is as good as any other steakhouse in Cincinnati. I
Yep.
mean, it's really that good. So because the dudes
It
that run it
is.
used to work for all those kinds of people. So all right. Well, you know what? I got two things here, and we'll go ahead and we'll call it. I've got the best headline. There was a runner-up best headline that involved Gary Busey and sex crimes he was convicted of, but that just it got superseded by the best headline, and then I've got a something from the I've got the police blotter. So the best headline is the tiger didn't want to kill the handler. Um, says Ryan. So basically, some guy who deals with tigers all the time got eaten and killed by a tiger, and they're like, "Well, the tiger didn't want to kill him." It's like, okay, it's like, all right, okay, hippies. It's like, whatever. It's like it's just a goofy thing. Um, the That did not come out as well as I imagined it would when I was writing it down. The three for the police blotter are one of them. Kraken sent it to me. There's an Iowa school superintendent that was in a car chase because he's apparently an illegal alien with guns and weapons charges, and he's like the superintendent of like this entire school district
He
and in
is
some
in Des
city.
Moines.
Yeah,
It's Des Moines, the school district. He's illegal. He falsified some shit. So ICE got his ass.
and he's got a removal order.
Right.
And then there's a story of course, I got to mention this because I'm literally like the guy who was going to shoot President Trump. He stabbed himself after he was convicted of um, of attempting to kill Trump. He stabbed himself in the neck in court, or did he try to stab himself in the neck in court?
I didn't hear anything about that one.
Ruts is Ryan. Is it Ryan Ruth? Ryan Ruth. Remember the guy who was at the golf course right after Trump got shot, and they found him at the golf course waiting for Trump on the fairway in the
Right. I
bushes.
remember that story. Yeah.
Well, that guy's trial just took place, and it was like you're guilty, and he picked a pen up off the table and either stabbed himself or was trying to stab himself in the neck. He tried to commit suicide with a pen like John Wick or some shit in the middle of the thing. And then the third one is, and this is kind of I wanted to mention this story because I feel like we always hear them in the other way, and I think it's worth mentioning. So one of you two had asked me about a neighborhood in Cincinnati called Glendale.
That was
I don't
me.
remember if that was
That
you. And I was like, yeah, I know where Glendale is. And I mentioned to you there was a priest over there that they had recently, possibly gotten in trouble for the kiddie stuff. And I was like, yeah, Glendale's a suburb over here. Well, I have an update on that story, and it's kind of interesting. After Tri-State Priest placed on leave, officials say, quote, no criminal activity or wrongdoing found on the computer. And you see that headline, and you're like, there's a picture of the priest, Father Ed Burns Jr., and you're like, okay, yeah, so he slid by. He's got something on his computer, and great. He's, probably letter of the law, he's not guilty, but spirit of the law, he's guilty, right? Oh, it gets better. A tri-state priest accused of possibly accessing, quote, concerning websites, unquote, on his computer has been exonerated. We previously reported that the Archdiocese of Cincinnati placed Father Ed Burns Jr. on administrative leave after a parish employee told the leadership that a computer in his possession may have accessed criminal or pornographic websites. Burns is the pastor of the school, whatever. Archdiocese officials said after reviewing the list of websites provided by the employee, so an employee said, there's all these websites on this computer, and it's, like you can imagine, tranniesbytheriver.com, right? So Archdiocese officials said after reviewing the list of websites provided by the employee, they did not turn on the computer and, quote, promptly gave it to the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, which conducted a full forensic review of the computer. During their search, the Sheriff's Office said, quote, no criminal activity or wrongdoing was found within this device. The Archdiocese said the initial list of websites the parish employee told them may have been accessed on the computer was actually a list of websites obtained from anti-malware program installed on the computer. Quote, given from the reason for Father Burns' administrative leave, he has been demonstrated and to be unfounded and effective immediately. Father Burns is no longer administrative leave and will resume his duties as pastor at these whatever schools. So here's the thing. This computer has a firewall on it that doesn't let you go to porn sites. And it's a piece of software. Well, some employee that works at the church was somehow messing around with the software and saw what we would call the blacklist. Like the blacklist, there'll be a list of websites that it won't let you go to. Right? And so the employee found the blacklist, doesn't understand computers, did the right thing, called their boss, and they're like, hey, I have a problem here. Well, they give it to the sheriff's office, and I will tell you this right now, the Hamilton County, Ohio Sheriff's Office, their computer forensics people, they will get your ass. Trust me, if they looked at the computer and they're like, this is fine, you can take it to the bank. It is fine. They will get your ass. And I just thought it was an interesting story that here we have, how often do you hear about a story of a priest wrapped up in one of these, and not only is it like he skated by, he's completely innocent.
but his life
Kind of
is
my feel
ruined.
good. His life isn't ruined. I mean, I hate to say this, he's a priest. Everyone's going to be happy for him. I think everyone's going to be relieved. I think I don't think no, he's still a priest. He's going right back to where he was. I mean, this only lasted a couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks. So it's a feel good story. It's not every priest is trying to diddle the waitress at the restaurant. Sometimes it's
Until they
just
get cock blocked.
until they get cock blocked by the malware. Sometimes it's just, a misunderstanding. So it made me feel good. So because I told you about the priest got jammed up, and I just feel like, you know what? I wanted to pay him some props. So. Well, this wraps up episode 383 of the John 911 podcast. You want to see any more stories or pictures or links to stuff like this? I promise we'll talk about more guns in the future. Please go to the website at john1911.com. That's JOHN1911.com. Remember, it's all about shooting guns and having fun, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.